Yeah, we going up, we going crazy, going bonkers. Produced by Ziggy, Zay Ticky, believe that.
It ain't peaches, it'll deceive you, boy, believe me. What you know about a jungle made with nothing but seed. No creepy crawlers, just heathens that prey on your weakness. Smell the slightest hint of fear, and the stainless you'll eat it. Gang bangers that greet your test on their face like Weezy. Pouring milk by the ounce, walking around looking sleepy. I'm from a town no intact to your broken city. Disrupted, I know niggas who once were real who now turning into subs. When it comes to murder, it's nothing. Rallos get pulled over scuffles. Bumpy road around this motherfucker, your life means nothing. It ain't peaches. Niggas walking around with no feelings, with a chip on their shoulder, saying the world don't feel us. Trying to earn them some millions so they can split with they niggas. I know cats that died broke because they lost all ambition. When it comes out to get.
Welcome back to another edition, More to Live for Queens of the City. We're going up 95 with this one. Elm City to be exact. Got a special young lady with me tonight, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself and tell you what it is that she does, and we're gonna go from there like always. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing well, thank you. Ma'am, you know, it's funny. I know you from the South, and that's how y'all are raised, you know, but that makes me sound like, you know, an old lady, even though you say young lady. I appreciate that. You know, but my name is Takisha Carter and Marshall, and I am a cannabis health coach, certified cannabis health coach, a certified cannabis advocate, and a Ganjier student. So that's pretty much a cannabis sommelier, like a wine expert would be a wine sommelier. So cannabis expert, yeah, basically.
All right, that's pretty cool. And could you tell my viewers where it is that you're located so they will understand that it's legal where you are, even though it might not be where they are, so we can.
Right. So, yeah, I'm located on the East Coast in Connecticut, where it has become adult use recreationally legal for the state of Connecticut last year, 2021, July 2021, July 2021. But I've been a medicinal patient for a few years. So I do have my medical license to consume before it became legal for adult use. You know, so I'm in the East Coast, the Northeast, where almost every state is pretty much becoming legal.
Yeah, it really is. Before we dive into, the qualifications, that it would take one to get a medical card, or, before we dig into that, could you, like go over some of the things that, through your research and studies that, and, from your personal consumption, the good things that cannabis, provides to the body. Because, it's still people that think that, people just really want to get high. And it's not the case, not in 2022.
Right. Well, people are, enjoying cannabis recreationally. But cannabis is 100% more healthier than alcohol consumption. So, alcohol damages your liver and other organs. People die from cirrhosis of the liver, but there's not one person who ever died from consuming cannabis. So, there's not one documented. Cannabis is healthy. Cannabis is a plant. Cannabis is an herb. Cannabis is a vegetable, a food. It's a nutrition. So cannabis, the plant can supplement what we already have, which is a system called the endocannabinoid system in our body, like the circulatory system, the skeletal system, the musculatory system that we have, the nervous and central nervous system. Right. All of those systems that help to keep our bodies running and going are really under, or I would say connected to the endocannabinoid system. The endocannabinoid system balances all of those systems. And we just kind of, I guess, research really came out about it in the 90s. So it's fairly new for as far as being newly discovered, but they wanted to know how cannabis kind of worked, what it did in our bodies to make you, feel euphoric. And so when they were researching that, they discovered a system, some receptors that the phytocannabinoids bind to in our bodies, in brains, and in our muscles and organs. So, needless to say, that once they discovered that we have an endocannabinoid system, then they became more aware of um, the uses of cannabis, for health and well-being. Helping to bring balance back into the body. That's what the endocannabinoid system, or ECS for short, does. It brings your body back into homeostasis. So we produce our own cannabinoids. They're called endocannabinoids. So we produce them ourselves. Even mothers pass those endocannabinoids without touching the plant. They pass it on to their children, their babies, when breastfeeding. So yes, there's a science to it, and it's good for our bodies. So we can get away from the stigma that it's illicit. Right. That's okay. We can get away from the stigma that it's illicit, because the only reason why the stigma is there is because it's been criminalized. Once they made it illegal, in the I believe 30s, once they made cannabis illegal, then it became a Schedule 1 drug and things like that. The whole war on drugs campaign,
Yeah.
and all of that propaganda. Of course, they couldn't tell you, they couldn't tell you the health benefits. But before it was made illegal, people were consuming cannabis. They had it in their medicine cabinets, tincture form, like something like this. This is what, you take it, you take it like, it's cannabis is medicine. So.
Definitely is. And speaking of, that kind of leads me into something else that I want to discuss with you. Like the difference that it provides, like as far as like CBD, as far as comparing that to pure THC cannabis, because here in North Carolina, like CBD is legal and it's everywhere.
Right.
So I do think that with CBD already being accepted here, that marijuana is on the way.
Right. Well, I believe North Carolina has a medicinal cannabis program. So if you get the card, you can access it from dispensaries and things like that. But CBD, hemp-derived CBD, because there's CBD derived from the cannabis plant, and then CBD derived from the hemp plant, which hemp and cannabis are the same thing, meaning they're the same, related.
Right.
But one is produced for industrial reasons and does not have a high THC level to be considered CBD. So
that makes sense.
with CBD, that became legal in 2018 per the Farm Bill. And, you can get that across the US. And if you get craft, I would say craft hemp, that specifically bred for, great, high, I would say high percentage CBD in it, then, if you can find organically grown, but it depends on where you source it. And, that'll do, wonders in your body for inflammation, also for anxiety,
Yes.
definitely can, it's psychoactive because it alters your mood. So you don't feel the euphoria of THC, but it will balance you. It will do what it needs to do in your endocannabinoid system. And CBD also binds to other receptors outside of the endocannabinoid system. So CBD is, for your body, it may be more superior than THC.
Yes, that's you exactly right. Something I want to share, with anybody watching that may be going through different things. But the CBD, to me, dealing with high levels of anxiety, it seemed like the CBD was basically, how can I explain it? being where I'm at and making sure I say the right things. But the CBD, it really was doing things that you would think marijuana would do. From somebody that never really consumed CBD alone, like I really got good benefits from it, and like it really does something for anxiety and a lot of things that I had going on at that time, and like that CBD really helped. So I want to share that with with my viewers and anybody that might be going through something, because it's still May and it's still Mental Health Awareness Month. So I just
Yes,
kind
it
of
is.
want to throw that in, now that I have a licensed, cannabis coach that can actually, you know, tell people that I'm not just making this up. Like this stuff really is good for you and it really can help you. So
Yes, yes, CBD. And I'm glad that you brought that up. It is National Mental Health Awareness Month. And if anyone is dealing with any mental health concerns, please reach out and get the help that you need. There's no stigma with asking for help and seeking balance. For me, I received my medicinal license, with a PTSD diagnosis. So, and that's how I was able to get access to cannabis at first. So, yeah, medicinal cannabis. So it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and speak up about it. Never be
yeah,
afraid to
definitely.
speak up about anxiety. We are, a society that is dealing with anxiety and depression and a lot of mental conditions. So why wouldn't you seek something natural as cannabis?
Right,
Most people would prefer that than having to go to get pharmaceuticals, or go to
right,
the doctor and the doctor prescribe pharmaceuticals. If you go to your doctor and they say, hey, well, maybe you should try something, ask them if you could try CBD first, cannabis and CBD first. And being that CBD is available, yes. And then, like you said, sometimes you have to alter or change, switch up and pivot how you consume it.
yeah,
You know, you know what I'm saying? So if you know that you're dealing with anxiety and you make it short of breath, maybe inhalation is not the way to consume. Maybe some infused CBD oil, sourced from the right place, some capsules, or tincture form, even teas. We don't have to consume cannabis, even the THC dominant one,
right.
um, through inhalation all the time. You can, and it does have a different effect. But if you're dealing with pain or something like that, you may want to consume it as an edible because it lasts longer. Okay. Yes, with
Okay.
smoking, the onset delivery time is faster, but it's short as well. So this is why people find themselves rolling up again, smoking again. Or if you didn't smoke a whole one, you're toking and hitting it again. But with ingestion or taking it as an oil under the tongue, sublingual, it may take maybe 15 to 30 minutes to onset, but the effects last longer.
Okay. Okay. Very educational, very educational.
Yeah.
So something that we talked about, outside of this interview, I think it can be really helpful to anybody that's watching. So me being here in North Carolina and any other state that that's not legal, far as recreational, how would I go about obtaining a medicinal card, or even being an advocate for it to be legalized?
Okay. So, well, you definitely have to reach out to, maybe your Department of Consumer Protection. I know that's what we do here in um, Connecticut. So, first, if you want to, and that'll tell you what the steps are. But, I would suggest speaking with your physician about whatever the condition is. But you want to look up what the qualifying conditions are, in your state to get a medicinal license. And then, if you have a qualifying condition, go to your physician and say, I want my, if your physician is licensed to certify you, hey, then you don't have to go any further. But if that physician isn't, or your medical, provider isn't, then you can ask for your medical record, and the condition that, qualifies you, you go and you find a physician that is qualified to certify you. And you can do that. There's a number of sites. And then once you do that, You take your medical records to the physician, and you have an exam, and they certify you. They write the prescription. Excuse me.
Okay.
And then you'll take that to your state, and the state they'll send it over to the state, and the state, you'll pay the state fee, and the state gives you the card. I mean, it's a process, but it's a fairly simple process once you understand what to do. And then there are a number of places online that will, um, help you get the certification quick and easy. And you're having a tele visit just like we're doing. So,
Okay. All right. So as far as, being an advocate for that change, for to push it, to be legalized, like what would, someone in this state and, the other, I think it's what, like
right.
43 states left that's not legalized yet, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. There's quite a few. And so, if you are a cannabis advocate, if you're a consumer, or you feel like it should be, legal for everyone else to access, the first thing in advocacy work is to do your research and educate yourself. Okay, so you want to be able, you can go to places like normal.org. There's organizations like Minorities for Medical Marijuana, m4mm.com or .org, I forgot which one it is. But there's a couple of organizations you can go online and look into. I became a certified cannabis advocate through normal.org in Greenflower, and I went through a course. And at the end of the course, once I, completed the exams, I was given a certification. But that was just to educate myself on the history of advocacy for cannabis, and what the laws were and what the laws are currently. And make sure you know the laws in your state. Make sure you understand and know the law in your state. And that's why you would go to, the DCP in your state, or wherever, whatever organization or, uh, I guess regulatory agency
Right.
that covers, medical marijuana or what have you. But, that's just the beginning. You have to do your research. And like I said, you can go to those websites, and you can look into becoming an advocate. Also, oaksterdam.com has a free advocacy, like a mini course. And so you can go through that process, and you're not paying anything, and you can kind of get an overview of what the process, what it's like.
Okay. So, so if, someone that's in your state, or if, someone would move to your state, from a state that it isn't legalized, like, is there a certain process that they would have to go through? Or would they be, just like, would they be, content with maybe getting it out of dispensaries, since it's recreational? Like,
Right. Well, it's recreational. So that means recreational use is legal. So that means if you have access, then, there's no longer penalization. You don't go to jail, anything like that. But they haven't started retail sales for recreational. So that you're in this period where it's still, if you don't have a medicinal license, then you're unable to get it in the dispensaries right now. But they're looking to start retail sales the end of this year, beginning of next year.
okay, so let me ask you this. So, being in the tri-state area, so if you guys, if they're not any dispensaries in Connecticut, we can almost guarantee they're in New York already.
Right. New York is
assumption?
still this, or everywhere has a dispensary because they have the medicinal aspect of the program. But if they became recreational, it takes some time before their retail sales, because now you have to have enough flower for your medicinal patients and enough product for your medicinal patients, and now people who don't have a card. So it takes some time to get that program set up. But New Jersey has just started their retail recreational sales for adult use. I believe last week, in the first day was over 1 million in sales or something. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
And other states are going to see that, and then that's going to push them to get
right,
it legalized.
right.
Because,
so yeah, New York is working on it. But Massachusetts is right above Connecticut, so people can go, and get what they need there as well.
You just touched on something that brought something to my attention. When you said that these companies got to make sure they have enough flour for their medicinal patients first before they push it out recreational. That goes to just further show that it's all about the money. Like it just goes to further show that, because the medicinal patients, they want to make sure they have flowers for however many this is for, group A, because group A money is guaranteed. It's through insurance, so
No, it's not through insurance. Insurance does
for
not cover you when you have a medicinal
well,
license.
I
It's
misspoke.
right.
I
No,
misspoke.
but that is an area of advocacy that we're working towards for medicinal patients. We want insurance. If this is prescribed by a doctor and it's medication, then yes, we should have, because we should have coverage by insurance. That's what we want. That's what we're moving towards for medicinal patients. Recreationally, no, they're not going to cover it. But if you are medicinal patients, this is why I encourage everyone, if you have a current condition that you are consuming cannabis for, therapeutically, your arthritis, your stomach issues, your gut issues, your menstrual cramps or endometriosis, your MS, your fibro, all sorts of conditions, cancer, then you should have a medicinal license. And we want to move towards insurance covering the medication for the people who consume cannabis because they need it. They need it. It is their medication. But for those who want to consume it because they love the euphoric effects of THC and that intoxication.
Euphoric effects. I like
Yeah,
that.
that's what it is. That's what it is. It's euphoric and it's an intoxicant. But it's still doing well in your body as long as you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah. From what I, noticed over these 37 years, it really, doesn't seem to have a bad effect on your body. So
Right.
you've definitely been, giving people some good details to things that they might not know, because like where I'm at, it's a few people that actually, want to dive in, and actually do research about this. So I think this is going to be very helpful to those people and the people that, are kind of like where I'm at with it, know some, but not all, and really don't have anybody they can actually talk to that's, doing it somewhere that is legal and they're doing it for a health reason. So that's why I think
Right.
it's so helpful.
Right.
So,
And I mean, I definitely want to advocate for more of us Black people to get involved in the cannabis as an industry, in the cannabis industry. Excuse me, right now, it's jobs, you know, it's producing, more jobs for people. It's another pathway. It's another industry that's opening up, something to learn. Right now, a lot of colleges are having courses and providing education to become, a cannabis something. Or if you already have a skill, you already have a skill set, and you want to transfer those skills to the cannabis industry. This is the time, and while places will start to become recreationally, legal, for Black people, they'll normally open up something, like a social equity program where Black people can get involved in the industry. First, because we were the ones and we are the ones, besides there's also, the BIPOC community as a whole, are the ones who were grossly affected by the war on drugs,
yeah.
our
Yeah.
neighborhoods tore down, living in
You gotta
poverty.
sugarcoat
Let's
that.
be
Yeah.
clear.
That's just
Incarcerated, you got people still incarcerated right now for nonviolent cannabis offenses. So I
yeah.
think that, um, given the opportunity, we should be moving forward with trying to get involved in the industry, especially if you're consuming, um, and have been consuming, this plant in and out, you've been involved in that, I definitely would. So.
Oh yeah. And yes, this is very educational. I hope my subscribers and any other viewers are actually learning something from this good content.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you for having me.
No
Thank you
problem
for
at all.
having me and
Thank you.
helping, raise awareness of cannabis as medicine and, the health benefits of it.
Yeah, I thank you for quite a few things. I thank you for this interview. I thank you for the support you've shown me over the years. And people might not know this, but we are no strangers. And yes, I met you at a key point in my life. Those troublesome late teenage years, and you always gave me great advice and positive vibes throughout all the years that passed. So peace and blessings to you and yours, ma'am. I'm
Thank
sorry I'm
you.
calling you ma'am. But
Okay.
definitely peace and blessings. And we're going to do this again in person next time. And
Yes. Yes.
yeah, it won't be long. I'll be up 95 soon. But yeah, this has been another edition of More to Live For, Queens of the City, Volume 7, Elm City. We went up 95 this time. So I hope everybody enjoyed it, and I hope everybody learned something from it. And until next time, peace and blessings.
Peace. Peace.